Are you are you close are you close with your mom? I mean, I know it's not really something you ask in bed, but I have this theory that people who aren't close to their moms are kind of psychopaths. I think that's an actual thing. I don't know. People who aren't close with their moms, I think, have some kind of tick, you know. I'm really close with my mom. And then again, people say that's like a sign of a psychopath or something. A little bit of Norman Bates. Nah, actually, my mom and I love watching movies together. I think that's one of our core things that we share. We could watch movies all day. I remember when I was younger, we would go to the video store. Remember video stores? And we would just look around at random movies and get one. And this one time we watched this one movie. It was Mimic, the horror film, and we love horror films. It's so funny. I used to, gosh, I feel like I'm going all over the place, but we used to when I was like 5 years old, my mom would send me off to bed, and me being the curious cat that I am, would sneak out and I would hear the TV, you know, silently in the lounge, and I there used to be this wall, and you go past through to the lounge, right? And I would hide on the corner, look at what she was watching on TV, and it was horror movies. That was the first time I saw that guy with the knives for fingers. um, so we went to the video store. I think I must have been like what, 9 or 10, and we got Mimic, and I think there were like four of them, and we got the first one, took it home, watched it. Amazing horror movie, and like 2 hours later, we were back at the video store to get part two, three, and I think there might have been a part four. I'm not sure, but we got the whole series. Um, we love movies, and it's a great way for us to bond. Um, it's also, I think, what inspired my creative side in terms of, deconstructing things and trying to put them back together. I know it sounds weird, but I feel like horror movies are, because you know that stuff that happens in there isn't real, so it makes you curious and makes you want to break it apart and then put it back together again. So, yeah, I mean, my relationship with my mother is really close and fun, and it just takes me back to being a little kid again. Just the spontaneity and the laughter. There's lots of laughter. She's so funny. When you get to meet her, you'll love her. I mean, she's hilarious, and she's really generous and kind. Yeah, I don't know if I could ever date somebody who didn't get along with my mother. I don't understand these people who have these fights with their in-laws, because how can you marry into a family if you don't get along with them? And I think if you don't, you have to try. I mean, it's your job to do it. isn't it? If you love someone, don't you want to love the people that they love too? Otherwise, how do you understand someone if you don't love who they love? I mean, I've heard that it's impossible sometimes, and that might be true, and maybe then that's not the right person. Is that harsh? I mean, how's your relationship with your mother? Is that like a deal breaker for you if we don't get along? Or, I mean, mothers love me, so I know we are getting along like a house on fire. That's a really funny thing because all of my friends' mothers love me. They even would say like, "Oh, why can't you be like, me?" to their kids. I was like the example. I don't know. I think mothers are life, and life is something to be respected. And if a mother is the source of life, how much more respect do you gotta have for her, right? Because she has to carry that life and nourish it. It's such a mysterious and wonderful, wonderful process of birth and nurturing and love coming together. Yeah. Like, my mother is awesome, and I think every every son has an unbreakable bond with their mother. I think it's like, it reminds me of that famous painting. I'm not Catholic or anything, but the Madonna and Child. It's such a simple image, but it has so much power in it. It's like, think about it. A man comes out of a female. That is magical. It's magical what it can do. The human body, the female body, that has to be respected. It has to be held in some kind of high regard. It's it's life. I mean, how's your relationship with your mother? I mean, seriously. And just be honest. I mean, everything has a space to change and develop, and no matter what it is now, it can always be better. I mean, even for me. I mean, really? No. I'm trying to think of what I would change or what I would make better about my relationship with my mother, and maybe more time. Yeah, more time to go on vacation together. We used to go on wild trips when I was younger. We would go to different provinces and go sightseeing. We even went ghost hunting once. Yes, ghost hunting. That was pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I really do. I really, really do.